You might not have a saving problem. You might have a capital building problem. And that distinction could completely change the way you think about money. Because maybe you are actually trying. You avoid unnecessary spending. You put money aside whenever you can. You tell yourself that this month will be different. Then something happens. A medical bill, a family emergency, rent, repairs, school fees, higher food prices, inflation. And suddenly, the money you spent months saving disappears. So you start again. Save, spend, recover, save again. And eventually, you start wondering, why am I working this hard and still not getting ahead? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Saving money is necessary, but saving money by itself doesn't automatically create wealth. Saving gives you protection, but wealth requires productive capital. Think about someone earning a modest salary. They manage to save 10% of their income every month. That's discipline. But if their income barely rises while the cost of living keeps increasing, their savings may constantly be fighting a losing battle. This is where many people misunderstand personal finance. They think becoming financially successful means simply spending less. But there is a limit to how much you can cut. You can stop eating out, you can buy cheaper clothes, you can cancel subscriptions, you can reduce entertainment, but you cannot reduce your expenses below zero. Your income, however, does not have the same ceiling. That means there is a point where becoming wealthier requires something beyond cutting expenses. It requires increasing the amount of money you can produce. And this is where money psychology becomes interesting. People often feel safer watching their savings balance grow. 1,000 becomes 10,000, 10,000 becomes 100,000. It feels like progress, and it is progress. But psychologically, we can become so focused on protecting money that we forget to make money productive. Cash sitting still can preserve your financial flexibility, but productive assets can potentially create additional income and growth over time. That's the shift. Don't ask only, how much can I save? Start asking, what can I build with what I save?
Your savings can become an emergency fund. Then they can become investment capital. They can fund education, skills, equipment, a business, or productive assets. The goal is not simply to accumulate money. The goal is to gradually build a system where your money, skills, and income-producing assets work together. And here's another uncomfortable truth. Sometimes you're not broke because you're irresponsible. You're broke because your margin is too small. If you earn 100,000 and your essential expenses consume 90,000, telling yourself to just save more isn't a strategy. It's mathematics. You need either lower essential costs, higher income, or both. And that is why you should never confuse financial discipline with financial progress. Discipline is controlling what you do with money. Progress is increasing your financial capacity. You need both. So the next time you look at your savings account and wonder why you're still not getting ahead, don't immediately blame yourself. Ask 3 better questions. How much can I realistically save? How can I increase my earning power? And how can I eventually turn part of my savings into productive capital? Because the ultimate goal isn't to become extremely good at starting over. It's to build a financial system that makes starting over less necessary. Saving money can keep you from falling, but building income, skills, and productive assets is what can help you climb. And maybe that's the financial lesson nobody taught you. You don't just need to save your way out of being broke. You need to build your way out. If this changed the way you think about money, subscribe and keep exploring the psychology behind saving, investing, and building wealth.